Hello, everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Strother.
I'm Sean Spencer.
Back.
We are back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and.
Come on. The lion. The lion. New man so funny. Kirk Cousins.
All right. I am Janae Strother.
I am Sean Spencer.
And this is Let's Talk Football.
Yeah.
That's nice. That is nice.
Yes.
Woo!
You already
Woo!
know. Boy, Spencer, what happened? That dynamic duo that's Let's Talk Football. And today, oh my goodness. I didn't know if we were going to be able to book this one. I didn't know if we were going to be able to get this man into the studio. But the great Andrew Zeoli, the great Bears fan, is in studio. What's up, Andy?
What's happening, man? I couldn't find my Bears hat from 1990 that I usually wear, but you'll just have to deal with this look instead.
If you could have got that one, that would have been beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, it's like, you know
Bears.
what I'm talking about, that gray one?
I know.
That looks like jean fabric. It's great.
Right.
First Bears clothing I ever owned.
Sticks.
The original. That's right. In its packaging.
That's what Brad Muster and Neil Anderson wore.
Has anyone pointed out your sweater? If this is the first time you've worn it on air, because it is amazing. Anyone that's next to you on a screen or like non-virtually will just look so much better just because they're like enhanced by you with this look.
Right.
It's great. It's like so cozy. It's like, did someone put a fire on, or is that just your sweater?
Right. I'm just hot.
Hot tonight. Woo, woo, woo.
Yes. Yo, I gotta say, I've been talking football all 37 of my years of existence. And I want to say 2000, when did I meet you? 2003, 2004?
That was in like
that when we met?
5, 6 at the
Y? I was still at the YMCA. So
yeah, when we went to some high school, full disclosure, but we didn't know each other. I think I had heard your name because you were hot to trot on the football team. And I was like, we got this running back, Sean Spencer. Woo, woo. Yeah, but I would be the one
that would be sitting. Yeah. I'd be the one that sit there and be sitting in the locker room and everybody's sitting here joking around and I'm sitting here looking at trades and notes and stuff like that. Like I'd be always the one looking at, okay, well, how is this play going to work? And how is this? What if this person goes there? Like
you're like X and Y. You know? What about the Z spot receiver? And you're like, dude, we don't throw. We never throw.
Right.
How much passing talent did they chase away because they nenever threw? I knew 2 or 3 people who had rocked arms that I went to school with, and it's nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, if I played, I would have got wrecked. I would have got wrecked out there physically, but like mentally and emotionally, I was there. Okay,
right.
Like, oh,
right. But hey, I wish it was Turkey Bowl. I wish it was like that. But we ran. You saw we ran. We ran that archaic I-form offense. When everybody else at that time,
he had middle, yeah.
Yeah. We had one misdirection play. We had a play action pass. That was it. We didn't have much. We really didn't. I think my junior year was
on your team. You're like, what was the screen pass to you? I saw this man take a screen pass to the house against. We played 6 on 6, 7 on 7. Granted, it was touch, but they couldn't touch you anyways. And I saw each person try to get you twice, and it was just like boom, shoom, zoom, 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 and then choom, right to the house. I was like, yeah, that's a touchdown for me. So I threw that. Thank you. It was great.
Oh,
so much talent wasted. Not your talent wasted. I mean, like so much like mental and emotional talent wasted on the field because they just did. They were going to go like 4th and 12. Let's run up the middle. Blah.
Let's run it.
Did they practice? You guys practice?
Yeah, they won't know what we're doing.
Yeah, you had to practice that, right? How does the defense not look amazing in practice because they know it's coming? And then they play against a team that's like, oh, let's do a reverse. And they're like, oh, crap, where is he? Where'd he go?
Right. It's because it's the scout team. It was the scout team defense. So when we ran 4 toss plays, I'm running. Even when I'm tired, I'm getting I'm all the way down the field.
Oh, yeah.
The
and then you get the ball. They bring you in on 3rd and 19 for like a counter. And you're like, come on, man.
What are we doing?
You're not throwing. You were never throwing.
I think my junior year, Coach Meyer put in a screenplay. And I think they ran it one time. Did not work whatsoever. I think I got hurt around that time. So thank God, because it was just a terrible decision. It was
just going to have to happen anyways. They're like, oh, now you're going to do this that we don't practice and we don't execute well. Okay, great. Right. Oh, awesome. Right. Like, boom.
Because it works. It's in the game plan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that was good. Those were good times. I wish they had a flag league.
Those were the good old
I'd
days.
like to shave 15 years off my body and play flag forever.
Oh,
gosh.
Those days, man. Before we started drinking alcohol, and I could run for days. It was beautiful.
Oh my God, you were so quick. Just the horizontal speed. I had never seen that. Like I went to Michigan State. I saw games. We didn't have that. We didn't have like horizontal speed like that. Were there people as fast as you on a straight plane? Sure. There were people as fast, not a ton faster than you, but like horizontally, like you were like Nightcrawler, man.
I like that.
Yeah. It was the easiest.
Good, yeah. Again,
I was just like one step, Sean, and you're like
look, again. When we were running, we were running those offenses, Andy. The ones like the Turkey Bowl, and when we went to DC and stuff, those were Sean McVay new age offenses. All right,
no huddle. Go to Chris Barr up the middle of the tight end. Fake the screen and then up the middle and the seam. Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. Right. He's still running. He's still open.
We had a stacked team. I mean, we did. Like, if they rushed you, you would run. You know, yep. I had my moves. Barr on every play. I mean, we had a stacked team. I mean,
we conquered everything. Hangovers, concussions. Not enough money to park down there, so we had to walk further.
Right. If we wanted to, we could have been the football version of White Men Can't Jump. Like, we could have hustled people out of there.
I did hustle people. Well, not for money, but like it was basically hustling them. It was like, hey guys, would you want to play with us maybe? And this guy and him?
Right.
We beat him by like 4 touchdowns or something. Ugh. And this, Sean, is why we feel qualified to comment on professional athletes and the organizations that they belong to, because we know what it's like to have just the tiniest taste of that competitive edge.
Yes. Where you believe. Yeah.
But we're still waiting on our deodorant ads, our deodorant
right
contracts. I could use it.
We'd be perfect for it, man. Because we're all.
I don't want the money. Spicy. I just want the deodorant.
I just need something.
It ain't cheap. Yeah. Oh, the roll on, the spray on. I don't really care, man. I just do it.
Put that rod, just roll it.
Yeah, it's a rod. It's a deodorant rod. That's great. So you're a big WFT guy.
So hey, I'm glad on the show. I'm glad you finally go. Like you said, Herndon High School alum, and you're a diehard Chicago Bears fan.
Yeah.
Coming from a Washington fan, I have to ask you, how is that? how is it to be a diehard? I mean,
I don't know. It's probably like what methadone is like. I don't know. You're just like, it's not really great. It's not horror. It could be worse, obviously. I could be a Lions fan. That's worse. Because the Lions, you attach yourself to Lions, there's virtually no history there. 1957 all the way through 1991, no playoff wins. One playoff win, 1991, and then no more playoff wins. And so that is misery, right? abject misery. And the Bears, between the scale of like where the Chiefs are going, I don't know which finger is where. Okay, there we go. The Chiefs are up here, Chiefs and Patriots, and Lions are down here. Being a stable methadone user is about here, and the Bears are like here, right there.
Yeah, just right. Under.
Washington's like a little bit below there because they have what? Okay, the things that Washington has going for them. That was a terrible exercise. I didn't know where my fingers were on the screen. I couldn't see it.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I was like, where this is, and then I'm like, methadone. WFT is somewhere beneath the Bears, and it's because you look at the history. They both have rich histories. The Washington has a richer history in the Super Bowl era, and which should probably be more relevant. But their owner has moved them so far in a different direction into utter unlikability that it takes people like you to make this franchise worth even talking about. And you do make it worth talking about because I see Ron Rivera ring that dang bell. You know, I think of the brief times where I enjoyed the franchise when Cousins was playing well and they kind of liked them. He was like, you like that? And I'm like, well, they only sort of.
Yeah, right.
And I never really liked them. Exactly. I have to explain why. I wonder if there's any of your fellow football fans out there that have this like similar origin story to being like you're like an expat to wherever you were born, and you're dropped in this new place. And for me, it was Washington era when I was like 4 and 5, and I started getting into football when I was about 7, 6. So once I knew what the Bears were about, unfortunately missed the Super Bowl, 85 Bears. Thanks, Dad, for not waking me up for that. That would have been nice.
Right.
So then one of my first childhood memories was the 85 Bears. Instead, it wasn't. So cool.
But I mean, but think about that defense, though. He probably thought, "Oh, we'll be here again." He's not missing anything.
Exactly. And no, they weren't. They blew it. They totally blew it because they didn't have the right quarterback or offense or anything. And the NFC was really good then, but still. So like maybe someone can relate to this, like being in a city or a suburban area, whatever, same thing. Where this is before the apps to watch it on your phone or to legally stream your games or go to the bar in the before times when you could go to bars and stuff. And you're a kid and you're at the mercy of your television subscription, the late 80s and early 90s where they didn't have these things. And it's like the Bears weren't really on TV. You know who was on the TV every time when I was like, say, like 9 or 10, when I really started getting more into it? Bears. Washington's 3-13 team post Super Bowl, and I had to watch it every week, and I had to look at I was like looking at the little slow ticker in 1992. How's Chicago doing? I want to know what the Bears are. And I was, you know what? I don't like Washington. I hate Washington. That's the mentality I had. And then there was always, it's like, you know that song, there's always something there to remind me. Like, there's always something there to remind me that I don't like the Washington football team. And for me, that was like, it was Snyder. It was people in high school or whatever, or whoever liked him. That guy's a jerk. Like, he likes the rest or whatever. Yeah. Or it was them being on TV and I couldn't watch the dang Bears. I couldn't suffer in my own version of hell. I had to like borrow a different hell. And so it was another thing being a Bears fan is like we've never had strong quarterback play, and even the stretches where we've had doses of it, like with Cutler and like occasionally with Trubisky, where they were playing like the Lions or something, and they like slaughtered them like 42-17 or something around, to that effect. Like it wasn't appreciated. I was like, well, this is what you're supposed to have all the time, but at least appreciate instead of being like, wow, why we need this guy stinks. So like, well, he didn't stink last week. What? Just be thankful. The gratefulness. You have to like have more gratefulness as a fan because you could always be the Lions.
Right. Thank you. And that's the thing, Andy. That's the thing. It goes to our fans. And I Bears fans. I know a couple being, how my fiance Kat and her sister in Chicago. I know how that. But Washington fans are just awful. They are so awful.
They used to think they were going 12-4 every year, and now it's just like, we are terrible. Like, then stop. Embrace the process or stop. There's so many other things you can do.
Exactly.
Football should be about connecting with like your childhood. Like, well, why I love your show and GSU in general is you bring out the inner child of the football fans that you know and that come to know you and stuff because you love the game. You've coached the game. You played the game. You appreciate the game. You played. I remember when we lived together for a little bit. We were playing like the college football game, and you were so hard to beat. I was like, I'm not bad at this, but he's so good. And the joy that we both had, like, it might have been in the middle of the day with our schedules and like giggling, playing this thing. And like, that's what you bring to the game. And we need more fans like you that are like guardedly optimistic and like, hey man, I get to watch football next week instead of like, well, we're not gonna win, or like, yeah, we're so great, and then you get so disappointed when you're not so great, which is usually never. If you're a fan of a team, they're usually never great. There's like 5 teams that are great, and it's not you, it's not me. So it's like you have to like
everybody else is
embrace something. For me, it was like in the before times again. It was going. I discovered a bar called Ivy and Coney in DC. And we will have to go in the after times to that place if it's still open and watch a game of Chicago and Washington or Chicago and somebody. And it's fun. I made some acquaintances or friends there, and it's just a good experience. And like it's like the feel of an alumni bar, but you didn't go to the University of Chicago Bears, even though sometimes it feels like it.
Yep.
Or like the University of WFT or whatever, WF Tech or something. I don't know. Like, we didn't go to these schools. They're not schools. They're like, we're voluntarily giving them our money. So it's like, we have to like, there's got to be some healthy separation of like, you know what? I'm going to take a break and go on a vacation to like the mountains this weekend. And if you lose, you lose. And I'll come back and I'll hit you up the next weekend. Both parties have to be okay with that. You know, and I think Washington treats its fans poorly because they're like, yeah, come out to Landover, Maryland, and watch this product in this field that stinks. And like,
and pay an arm and a leg.
Yeah, $50 a parking. Hey, look, we got Ben's Chili Bowl or something, but it's $14 here. You know, it's like I don't mean to discourage Ben's Chili Bowl. I love the place, absolutely love it. It's probably my favorite thing about the city, but I'm not sure if they had a location there or not. I know they do in Nats Park, but it's like, is it really the same experience if you're charging twice as much for it? I'm like, there's not enough Miller Lite I could drown my sorrows in. I don't partake, but like, there isn't enough.
Not for $10 a pop.
No, that would make me enjoy that experience. You know what? It could have been. It could be the Packers if they mess up and trade Rodgers or something, and then in the after times they're terrible. I wouldn't go to hate watch anymore because I'm almost 40. I don't really hate watch games anymore. But Schadenfreude, I get Schadenfreude from like people falling down in the street or something. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Well, back to
that one guy.
Yeah. What did I say to that person?
You go wrong in the stock market today.
Oh yeah, I ate my words years later. Something went wrong. That I played the stock market for a while. You're just like, it's funny things you say when you're younger or you think, and then you're a little older. You're just like, man, I want to go back and destroy that version of me. And okay, that brings up an interesting quandary. What would you destroy the version of you that roots for a team or these teams? Or would you just coach yourself into like, I remember one time you mentioned being upset when you watch a preseason game because you were like me. You wanted like victory and like constant victory. World is about like winning and like everything's awesome when you win because we're kids and no one has told us differently.
We believe.
We believed it. We naturally react to these things, and parents are like, "What? What is he doing?" I'm like, that's not learned. That is not taught. That is innate. You have it, and I have it. But we also have these parts of us that allow us to be like still optimistic and friendly and like nice like during the game and like reach out to pick up the other player, but still want to rip their heart out and smash it, you know, in front of all their onlookers. And look what
their family and their friends.
It was me. Yeah, and throw it
part of that comes with maturity of it, because let's not forget. I know you were, because I was this way. We were the same team. You're the same fans that would get so emotional that we would tear up at preseason because our third string guy is doing awful.
Yeah, you're worried about more of an understanding from Hawaii or whatever. I can't remember his name.
Right,
and I'm like, come on, Harry Bullis, what the heck? Moses Moreno, you dork!
I'll never forget when a Redskins fan was like, he threw for 5,000 yards. I said, at Hawaii, in the WAC conference. It's called the WAC conference.
And his name wasn't even Thomas Jones. There were like two guys that threw for 5,000 yards there. It was crazy.
It was crazy. Yeah.
And you got one of them.
It was awful.
Yeah, good for you. But yeah, preseason football or like non-conference, like anything, like in college. It's just like, it's just a lack of balance. And it's not that what we were doing was wrong, right? Or that our fans that are watching or listening now that might be maybe younger than us or maybe older and just went further down the pike than we did. It's not wrong that you're passionate. It's wrong that you're allowing yourself to get upset at them instead of at you for being mad at them. So you should be like, check. I'm going to take a breather. Oh, my gosh.
Right.
I don't want to get it. I don't want to sleep on the couch because something I said watching a game that's they're fans in the stands right now. It's so weird, right? It's a good time to reflect. I'm like, why do I still watch this? Because it's fun. Because you meet people in the before times and probably in the after times. You make friends, you develop friendships. And I males have this advantage of being able to relate to each other through sport. And I know it exists for females too. I know a lot of women that are sports fans, and they've made friends with women and men through sports too. But it's just like there's something just like so magical about it.
Yeah.
Like most of the people I'm close to, I can relate to sports. And then, you know, you're saying blah, 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 blah. And when, you know, we open up to each other, we're not going to open up right now, but, you know, we talk about the game. What'd you think of the game? And why'd you think that about the game? Oh, very interesting. What do you think about this next game? What do you think about the whole season? What do you think about this player? What do you think about his career? Should he be in the Hall of Fame? How are you doing inside? You know, and it's like you eventually get to that. Right. Your show that's what I said. Can be a bridge to that. It's great. Yeah. You can make friends.
That's what I said.
Make friends with each other. People can meet and connect in the now times and the after time.
Exactly. And that's what I said on one of the shows. I said, this is therapy for us. Because when it changed for me, Andy, was when I started dating Kat. And shout out to Catherine Hughes, diehard Detroit Lions fan. I feel for her.
She's going to be mad at me.
I started dating her, when I started dating her, and then the first time I like literally lost it in the game. And she was just like, it was so much so that I just couldn't even be in the room. Like I could, that's what I knew. Okay, something's got to change. Like, I can't be giving this team this much.
Yeah. It was like week 4 in the season.
Right. Like, it might have been like week 2.
I can't deal with 15 more weeks of this.
And then the next day, it's like, oh, wow, he had 300 yards. Nice. We can build on this.
Yeah, we build on this. And then
I believe in this guy.
Because I matured. And it's like it's like you can think back to like when your relationship started. What time of year was it? Oh, that's right. The sports of this and that. And like we can make our calendars through this. It's male organization. It's how we know what time it is. I don't know what month it is unless I know what sport is playing. It's like, gosh.
Right. Oh, no. The 1 o'clock game. That must mean lunchtime. Yep. I need to get some.
Exactly.
4 o'clock
game. I could. Doesn't mean I'm going to, but I could because they play at 4.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it's
See?
great. We know a lot of things. We're wise
let's
football fans, and we've been through the ringer. And we want you out there, listener and watcher, to go through the ringer with us and with Sean, the man here, Sean Spencer, your guru, your football guide.
Sometimes you have to go through the ringer to truly appreciate your team. And I got to bring it back to you, Andy. I got to bring it back to you because you went through the ringer. You like you said, you were asleep during the Super Bowl, and then I was with you on that next time that they won when they went against the Colts, and I was right there with you.
When they kickoff return,
when they kicked the Devin Hester.
They're gonna win. They're gonna win this
like
freaking Super Bowl. I was like, oh! I like ran around the house, hugged everybody.
I was there with you.
Do that then, which was cool. And then for me, I what was I? I was like 26, and you were like 25, I think. And I remember thinking like the first portion of my life has now peaked because the Bears are in a close match in the Super Bowl. It's raining in Miami. Yes. Prince is performing Purple Rain phallically in a tent. Right. And I was like, I don't care about anything else right now. This is like a peak moment. There's peaks and valleys in life, and there's a lot of this where you're just kind of sailing along.
A lot more than
that. I was riding the tiger on that one. I was just like, I mean, and so that Super Bowl was okay. I mean, we lost, and Rex Grossman played like garbage, but the halftime show was the best one ever, even better than the Michael Jackson one.
Yeah,
and a couple other ones that were kind of good. And then the next year was Tom Petty playing the Super Bowl, and he had one of the best Super Bowls ever, which was the Giants beating the Patriots.
Yes.
I picked that one. Lovely. I remember that. That was great. It?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So you want my Super Bowl pick?
And, I mean, well, even before we do that, let's go back to more Super Bowl memories because you and I watched – what was it, Super Bowl 49, I think it was, Seattle versus the Patriots. And we were sitting right there when it was second and goal. And they should have ran it.
The worst football call of all time.
Did you have money on that one? Did you bet on?
Yeah, I had him. I had Seattle with me before the season when they were, or during the season when they were 4-1, which is what I got Kansas City at on one of my picks was 4-1. Okay. Yeah, that pay. I'll get you a milkshake, man. Get you a Frosty, whatever you want, man.
Oh yeah.
You can have an adult milkshake. You can have one of those deodorant roll-ons we were talking about. Whatever you want. Why do you?
I need the deodorant.
Like, if anything, if you're not going to Lynch, you dang well better fake it to them, right? They didn't really do that, didn't they? Just drop back and went, shoo. So you have Lynch's line up to your left, right? And it was a shotgun formation. Mm-hmm. All right. So say they don't even change the formation. They were stuck in that formation, right? So we'll give them the benefit of the doubt that that's the right formation to be in, which probably wasn't. Should have slammed it home like 3 times. Screw it. And then you have Russell Wilson, and this was like 6 years ago, so he was faster, right? So you fake it with Lynch, and you just sprint out to the right, right? And you have one guy coming. Who is their tight end then? Doesn't really. Some guy, whoever their tight end was, sprinting out to the corner of the end zone.
You see it?
Oh gosh.
You see it?
Oh, they should have ran the ball. That was terrible. And I remember like, I'm gonna win $1,000.
Right. And then, they could have led right up the gut. Look at the defense. They had maybe one linebacker in the middle.
Yeah.
They could have ran that right up the gut. They could have done a QB draw right up the gut.
I think they knew that they were going to throw it. And Malcolm Butler, who was undrafted, the best play by an undrafted player in any sport of all time was him. And I don't think he can ever be topped because he won a Super Bowl on one play. Only one play? Is that one play?
There's one play.
One play. What? You talking about one play? He's undrafted. Don't draft him.
He seemingly could be the result, the deciding factor in 2 Super Bowls, as a matter of fact, because you have that one where he makes a game-saving play. The next one where because of Big Bill Belichick and some background stuff, they don't even play him. And
that was really
some
dumb.
people said was the difference.
It could have been. I don't know why you wouldn't play him. He was great. He's on the Tennessee now, right? He's like their only defensive juggernaut that they got. I mean, he's good. Yeah. But why? Yeah. One play? Like, he's Marshawn Lynch. They don't even fake it to him. Like,
the man, Marshawn's name was Beast Mode. Are you serious? Like, you're not giving him the ball? Like,
he had one load and it was Beast. Like, don't even fake it to him. All he takes go this. That's all you do. And they didn't do that. They're just like, nope. Oh, those bastards.
Anything. You can run the fumble route. Anything.
Oh, my God. It's terrible.
That was bad. 6 years ago. And we still are bitter about it.
I mean, it was just like, okay, I deserve that. But America didn't.
No. They did not.
Russell Wilson didn't. Because it's his one stain on his career.
Yep.
I mean, he did throw the pass.
About
that. I think if you're at that level, you've won one Super Bowl and you're on the cusp of winning another one, wouldn't you be like, I think I'm going to hand it off to Beast Mode. Right. Screw you, coach. I'm calling an audible or calling, and if you're right, he's going to forgive you. And if you're wrong, you can talk about it later. Like, be bigger than your coach. That's all I'm asking.
Exactly.
And
see, that's the thing.
And someone wants, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was saying at that time of the game, that's one of those things where even when you hear the play call, like I would love to have been in that huddle when the play call came in. What are those linemen saying? Like, we're 1 yard away from winning.
Am I blocking for this? Yeah.
Right. Like, are we kidding me? Are you serious right now? But I agree. That's at quarterback, just like you did when we called play in the huddle. You say, nope, Sean.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm so tired. I'm like, no, I'm running you into the ground. This is about me and by extension you.
Right. It's like, I've been setting this up all game. That's why
his ego isn't big enough. His ego is not big enough. The coach should only have as big an ego as the quarterback if he's like Belichick and Brady level, where the symbiosis. It worked for so long because they both had such a big ego. But Brady was good at like taking the focus off him a little bit so that it would really be back on him, right? So, but he took less money. Yeah. His wife is a billionaire. So, yeah, he could take less money. And we're always like, oh, the Patriots are so good at using the cap. Tom Brady's so generous. I'm like, no, he's not. His wife is a billionaire. No. I would do that. Right. It's like, I'm only here because I like throwing balls around. Otherwise, I don't have to work. Look at her.
Right.
Look at her.
I'll do anything. I was telling somebody today, even if Tom plays till he's 50, he's still not going to be the breadwinner in his household. Yeah. Like, his wife is still going to run the ship. So, come on now. He just played.
The crazy part is they both of their prime earning potentials, at least from what they were doing, it dramatically trails off when they get older. And it doesn't matter because they have so much. They could do whatever they want. And it's like, oh, everything is possible.
Right.
Well, like, most teams don't have that situation. It's like, step one, get your athletes to go marry people that are richer than them. It's like, that's helpful. Then be generous with them and be likable enough that everyone worships them. And they're like, I'll give back because I like to win so much also. He's the perfect combination of fortuitous in that, like, he had enough charm and resources and whatever to attract these women to him, both his previous lover and Giselle, who is worth billions of dollars. Billions from supermodeling. That's incredible. That is literally super. Yes. Everything about them is super. Super Bowl, supermodeling. It's ridiculous. Yeah. But like,
he was made this moment right now.
He wants to win so much. He's so technical. He's just like shoots lasers out his eyes. But he's fiery too. And it's like he's just a fascinating figure. How come there's no Tom Petty? Oh, my God. Tom Brady biopic. Like, there needs to be a Tom Brady biopic. Like, his mentality is really interesting in his situation, and like how that he played off this coach that like kind of discovered him because Michigan discarded him basically. They played a freshman who was not very good over him his senior year, and he was a 6th round pick. Did you ever see the picture of it at the combine with no shirt on? He's just like, like. My body right now rivals Tom Brady's combine body at age 22. Okay, like it was nothing to like write home about. Giselle wouldn't have been like, I want to take my massive worth and like cast my hugs around that young man. No, he was a guy.
Right, no.
He was the future greatest, but at the time he was a guy. It took a system. A man with a system and a plan to discover him and so that he could prove himself. And then he proved the man in turn. That's what happened. It's magical. Right. And then so these organizations, these as fans were like, oh, you just got to get the right GM in there. And they're like, yeah, is he going to pull that? Is that going to happen? No.
Right.
You have to write your own story. Yeah. Right. Like it involves a little bit of luck.
Exactly. A little bit. More than
a lot of bit of luck. Like with Mahomes, like the Chiefs had Alex Smith, he was doing fine, and they traded up to get him because multiple teams passed on the guy because he bounced around a little bit. He ended up at Texas Tech, and they were Texas Tech. Like, yeah, of course you're going to throw for 500 yards. It's Texas Tech. And no, this guy is really the best. Right. He's the next best ever right now. The next best ever of right now. Like, he's so good.
Right now, right.
He's so likable. He's unbelievably likable. I will cry
now let me ask you this.
Human tears if something bad happens to him or something bad comes out about him. I'll be like, now I don't believe in anything.
Yep.
Yeah,
I agree.
Because he's the right opportunity, right?
Yeah.
For his style of play, he needed an advocate, Andy Reid.
Yep.
He needed multiple guys that could handle his talent, Nagy and a greater extent, Bieniemy, right? In conjunction with Andy Reid. And then the opportunity was like Alex Smith was not really necessarily on the decline, but it's like an elevator that only goes so high. And it's like, okay, well, you can take the stairs from here. How about we build the elevator higher? And that's what Mahomes is. He goes, pew, pew. He's so great. Oh, Sean, he's so good. I have not enough words for him.
Now, all right.
Superlatives that exist for how great he is. He's great. The throws that he makes, like,
he's amazing.
I wish I had a shred of that arm strength. Yeah, because like the mentality, the will, and the desire to forsake all others on the field except you, and then by extension, the people that are supporting you and your mission, the teammates. If I had a shred of that arm strength, just to feel those feelings just for like an hour, man, that needs to be like a VR game or something. Not to throw as far as him and see the ball go that far and be like, I just threw 80 yards. I'm Patrick Mahomes. No, but like to feel his feelings.
Yeah.
To be in like his almost like to live in his skin. No, to be able to like be like to trot around like, yeah, things are pretty good. Oh, I'm Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. He's so wholesome. He's perfect, man. Yeah. He's not like not a perfect human. I'm sure he has flaws, but I don't want to know about him. I just don't.
Right.
You know?
Right now, he has none. Okay, he has no flaws.
I don't want to see his ugly.
That's the way I want to see him.
I don't want to know. I don't want anything bad to come out with him about him, and he's going to be a father soon. I want his chapter just like almost end now and go into the infinite. I want him to beat Tom Brady, and then he's like, I'm retiring. And what do you mean you're retiring? I'm going off to the SpaceX ship, and like I'm going to colonize Mars, and it's all going to be Patty Mahomes everywhere.
Create another league. I almost want him to. I almost want to not get hurt, but to end like Bo Jackson, where it's like you said, he's at his prime, he's out of there, and we still think of him as a mythical figure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like Bo.
Why
We
is there-
still
is-
think
okay,
of Bo
like-
as
Is there like is Patrick Mahomes so much better in like the video games than the other players? Because like even better than the amazing players like Watson, like Josh Allen, and Brady right now, and a couple others, Rodgers. Because he should just be the mythology around this man needs to grow, and we need to be responsible for it.
Yeah, right.
Like he's so good.
Madden has
Madden
has all these little
45 completion. What's that?
Madden has all these little badges and all these. Yeah, he has like a badge for a bazooka. He has a badge for it takes like 3 guys to bring you one. Like he has a badge for throwing, intimidating throws. Like that's how Madden has it. So even though he's a 99, he also has these extra little. You know how Madden does. So he has these extra little things. He's by far incredible. Yeah, by far.
37-34.
No, so huh?
37-34 Chiefs.
37. So, but even before that, so you talked about Brady. We talked about Mahomes. Is this the best QB Super Bowl?
This is the best.
In your opinion.
Okay, so this is the best matchup of sports figures ever.
Mm-hmm.
Because Brady's gone to 10 Super Bowls, man. 10.
Yeah.
He's played, 22 years? Almost half of the time he's ended in the Super Bowl, and one of those years he got hurt for the year? Come on. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
And that's the only time he got hurt.
This is Mahomes' 3rd full season. So he had 3 years and 1 game, and he didn't play in the playoff game. So he had 3 years, basically. All 3 years, he's gone to the AFC title game, which went to overtime that first time,
right?
Or further. And, these guys are clearly the best. I've never seen a situation where, Jordan didn't have an opportunity to play against the next best that could eclipse him, right? He never even got to play in the finals against a Kobe or LeBron. And I'm not saying those guys – were in his bullseye status of best. Regardless of who these people are and were as human beings, I'm talking about sheer athletic marvel that was Michael Jordan and the sheer technician that Tom Brady is, and then this combination of everything that comes out Patrick Mahomes is playing Contra with a spread gun the whole time. He's just so good. And I just want to see him succeed so much because screw it. A lot of people don't like dynasties. Why? The one reason you don't like it is because it's not your team. And eventually the public will turn on Patrick Mahomes. And I don't want that to happen. We're in the perfect time right now.
No, I don't either.
This is the perfect one for him. And Brady can be hand it off to him, but also come back after him, and now I'll want a rematch or some other drama in the NFC, depending on where Watson and others go, or what happens with a quarterback situation.
And then we'll get more years of Brady because of that. Yeah. I almost want to see the Bucs lose because then you're going to get a fired up Brady. Want to come now? Mahomes has got him, but you're going to want Brady because Brady's the only person that's
beating Mahomes,
beat Mahomes in overtime that year, right?
Yeah, in overtime. Yeah.
So
I can't remember if the Chiefs ever touched the ball. I don't think they did in that overtime game. But someone will have to correct
who you wanted. Because that Mahomes can't beat. I mean, right? I mean, that's when he has not been able to get over that threshold and to do it against Brady. Obviously,
he has to.
But now he's not only going to have to. Yeah. Right. But let's be honest here,
Andy. Not the best ever unless he wins 9. If he doesn't win, because Brady will get 7. The dude will need 9.
Right.
It's not happening.
Yeah. But now
he has one chance, and it's right now.
Let's be honest here. Let's be honest here, okay? We know how Holmes is, but Brady is great. We know that. But Brady also has some other controls. Okay. There was a bunch of calls in that, even that championship game, where you're like, wait a minute.
Oh, in the NFC Championship.
He got 3 points.
Are you going to let me talk about the Packers collapse? Oh,
there you go. Wait. Well, first of all, I've been waiting to put this. I've been waiting to put it up. You cannot swap field goals for touchdowns, especially in the playoffs. Andy Zeoli said it.
Right.
Go ahead, give us your rant, man. I want to hear this.
You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't put Aaron Rodgers out there at the 8-yard line, not give a run fake or any, like, give him a chance to run, and then make him think like he has another chance, and so he doesn't scramble to get closer. He doesn't know on 3rd and 8 that he needs to get to the 3-yard line or deeper in for his idiot coach to let him throw the ball or run another play again in the freaking NFC Championship game with 2 minutes left. Are you serious? They're down 8. What happens, right? You get an incomplete pass. They're stuck at the 8-yard line, and Tom Brady's pressured into not going for the jugular and playing it safe, and you probably get the ball back. You have a much better chance, penalty excluded, to get the ball back, right? So that's a win-win. Either you get it and you score and you tie, or you get it, you score, and you don't tie in the onside kick, or you don't get it at all. They're at the 8-yard line, and they probably punt from the 15, and you're good. The only way you're in worse position to win that game is if you kick the freaking field goal. And he did it. He did it. He kicked it.
Yes.
All right, if you're out there and you were apoplectic about this, I should have been in happy tears as a Bears fan. But I was like, you're wasting Rodgers again? What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you even doing? This is just sad, man. It's just like you have a rival growing up or something, and you knew that you wanted him to not do well or her to do well, but you knew deep down they were better than you. They were just better, and they deserved it more. And
you're just
and then for some reason, for forces mostly out of their control, it just never happened for them. I mean, they did a couple of nice things. Yeah. They won a Super Bowl. Wow. One Super Bowl. They went to one Super Bowl with that talent. All that talent. One Super Bowl. Yeah. Brett Favre went to 2 Super Bowls. Won one Super Bowl. The Packers have had 2 Super Bowls in those 30-plus years or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's not that long, but it feels like my entire freaking life. I'm a Bears fan. Yeah, you're right. Literally, my whole fandom is basically I don't remember Don Mikowski. I remember Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
They had Super Bowls 1 and 2.
They had the ball at the 8-yard line with 2.5 minutes left, and they kicked a field goal. Are you serious?
Yep.
Oh my God! I sound like a Jamora. Oh, I only have one volume level too. But no, it was unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. If I'm the president or GM of that franchise, out the door. Don't even get on the plane to go back to visit your office.
You're done.
I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm apoplectic. Right. I just can't believe it. I was like, did that just happen? I've never seen a coach do that before. Ever.
I haven't seen it.
It's like he's wearing pull-ups.
I had somebody, he's setting it up for this. I said, no, there's no reason. Because like you said, even if he doesn't get it on 4th down, you still have time. You still have it back there. Your defense has been playing good. They had 3 interceptions, 3 turnovers in the second half.
Yeah.
You got to give this man a chance.
He's playing GoldenEye.
But the other thing is,
right? And he's playing slappers only, and Ninja's got friggin' grenade launchers on. It's like, what are you doing? You brought the wrong weapons to the fight, man. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Right.
LaFleur, why? Why is this LaFleur? What are you doing? What? LaFleur, I don't need it. Go to Super Bowl.
But look, now I got to play devil's advocate, right?
Yeah.
So we go back 6 years ago, Super Bowl 49, Seahawks Patriots, and you have that play at the goal line. Should Aaron Rodgers? I mean, if you were quarterback and his coach has said, "All right, 4th down, we're slow unit on," if I'm looking at this kind of credibility, I'm like, no, get off.
I throw
no,
Carroll under
we're
the
running
dang
this.
bus.
Like
Pete Carroll did not make Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson was always great, and he became less great because he went along with that stupid play. And he's become less great because
so now
along with his coaching. And he's regressed. Russell Wilson regresses mid-season. And, like, he was great the first half of the season. They fire the OC, and it's just like, why? Who fired the guy at the top?
Right.
Step down, dude. You're not going back to the Super Bowl, Pete Carroll. Mm-hmm. It's not happening.
No.
It's not happening. It's not going to happen.
Your days are done. No.
Done.
Your days are done.
Russell Wilson's days are not done, but Pete Carroll's days are done. Russell Wilson could go elsewhere and win.
And they need –
because he's mostly, I think, a winner.
And excuse me, honestly, I hope he does. Hope he does. Washington? Now, could you see him? I was about to ask you. Could you see that happening in a year or two?
Yes, 100%.
How many years does he have left?
In his contract, probably 3 or 4. But with today's NFL, it's changing. It's becoming more like a little bit more like the NBA. Not that it's like star driven, but to some level, these stars are like, wait, I could get out of here. I think every athlete is paying attention to this Watson situation and rooting so hard for that man, because I think he deserves it because he signed his contract with a coach that's no longer there. Yeah, it's the same organization, but it's a different GM. It's different situation entirely. And he's got the cachet as a person because he's given to the community that he doesn't want to leave Houston. He wants to leave the Texans. There's a difference. This isn't the Sacramento Kings or something where you're like, get me out of here. You know, it's like Houston.
Right.
Houston has a good rep for athletes from what I've understood, unless you're James Harden, but he's garbage. So, sorry, he's garbage.
Thank you.
Yeah, this isn't Let's Talk Basketball, but we kind of don't like him. His what he represents in the game. Oh, look, here's how I dribble. Yeah. I'm carrying the ball literally every time, and I get slapped on the wrist, and it's a foul, and I score 40 a game. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Score 40 and give.
I'll never forget the time I saw Rubio literally. Yeah, I never forget the time I saw Rookie Rubio literally playing behind him as he's dribbling.
Yeah.
Like, just, I'm not going to touch you because it's all he's doing is tap a foul.
Is it?
It's like this. Are you serious? Yeah. That's all.
Yeah. And then, step back 3, and it ruins children's games. Oh, the kids try to act like Curry and Harden, and they have the talent of neither. I mean, Harden has talent, and it's talent is like changing the game for the worse. And anyways, back to football. Sorry, I apologize. It's just like the guy I don't know where it came from. Just had to get out. Irks me. But yeah, no. Russell Wilson needs to get out of Seattle.
Yeah, he definitely does. And he's one of those quarterbacks, and we're going to piggyback off that and go to. He's one of those quarterbacks, just like Watson, where it's like you pay what they're asking because it's so worth it. It's so, to have a Wilson, to have a Watson for the years.
The guy is a winner, man. Yeah. I want him. You want. I think I've done a decent job of convincing you that you should really want this guy. I know, like, Washington fans might be like a little bit burned of how the franchise turmoil that went down with RG3. Not RG3's fault, not Cousins' fault, not Shanahan's fault, Snyder's fault, right? I know it's the same owner, but they got different management now. They have a different coach that has earned more cachet because for some reason Shanahan came in there with shackles on, like plastic shackles of like not being able to get out from under Snyder's shadow there and like make his own decisions. But don't take a job unless you know the situation. And anyone should learn that lesson. Like, examine the situation before you agree to something. I know you want to coach, but like another opportunity would have come along and he'd still be coaching probably or close to it. But you need to like put the pass away and be like, yeah, we gave those draft picks up. It didn't work out. But this is not a draft pick from a Big 12 no defense school. This is Deshaun Watson, who won a national championship and threw for almost 5,000 yards, was like 4,900 yards on a 4-12 team. Are you kidding me? He had like one or two games that weren't that great. Like the first game he was hurt, and I think the first game of the year was tough. It was against the Chiefs. He carried that team on his back, and that's all they could go. Like, you're not going to ever get better with this guy quick enough for him to be like, what if he gets hurt and he's on their team? Like, they need to trade him. And this is the perfect offseason for it, because the Rams already were like, we're probably not going to get Watson. We're going to take Stafford. I think we could win with that guy. But they set the price. Two first rounders and a third rounder and a serviceable player in Goff? Okay. Watson's worth way more than that, obviously. So who's going to step up at the plate? Looking at you. Are you the Jets? Are you going to do it? Miami? Are you going to do it? Chicago? Please freaking do it. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I will get a tattoo.
Where do we think he could go?
I will get a tattoo of Ryan Pace on my chest. What's that? Where does he end up? Washington? Are you going to do it? Who's going to do it?
What?
Jets.
Jets?
I think the Jets.
Because he likes the coach. He likes Salah.
He does. He likes Salah. Salah's a Spartan. Woo!
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, so he's wearing green. I think he'd do great there, but I just don't know why you'd want to go to New York if you could choose. Like, he seems like a more of a down-home guy, you know? Like, he's from North Carolina or South Carolina?
I think he's South Carolina.
South Carolina? Yeah. But
he's South Carolina. He's from South Carolina.
So the Panthers and 49ers have a shot in this too. Chicago, Washington. But I think we're just like getting our hopes up, and it's like I want him to do well. Just he's like my favorite. Mahomes is like really making a hard charge to be my favorite athlete, but I really love Watson. I wish that the Bears had gotten him before. We probably lost our chance, and we're probably not going to push hard enough for him. But make it difficult on the Jets or whoever else to actually outbid you. Like I want, if I'm Ryan Pace, I'm publicly announcing every day I'm working on this trade. I'm working on something to make our team better. And then when it comes out that someone else got him, I offered this. Because otherwise, just quit, man. If you didn't do your damnedest to get Deshaun Watson, getting a chance of making your mistakes. This is like Back to the Future, getting a chance to like see your parents when they're younger, and then making sure they get to stay together because something you screwed up, you know? And like, this is Back to the Future moment. Like, he's not going to go back in time. He has a chance, but he's not going to do it. He's going to be, you know, when he's like got the wheel near the end, this is a spoiler, and he's like, it wouldn't turn on, and he goes, and then the wheel goes, and he goes like that, or the dashboard lights up and everything. It's like that. That's what it would be like.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden,
and then he goes back in time, and then all of a sudden, Deshaun Watson's a Bear, and the last 3 years are erased. 4 years. But no, he has a chance to do that, and he's not going to get it done. Yeah.
Hold up, Andy, because you remember in Back to the Future 2, they went back, and since they went to the alternate 1985.
Oh,
so
1985. Strickland had a shotgun. And...
you know? We're not what.
I'd say Jets,
Deshaun Watson to go to like.
Order. Yeah. Jets, Bears, Panthers.
Okay, so what would you give up? What would you have to give up?
I
heard somebody from Chicago tell me they give Khalil Mack because of the contract. Just because of how big the contract is.
Houston doesn't want a contract.
What would you give up?
Because like they're not going to be good unless they can. With in regards to that, like unless Houston can give up, can then flip Mac for something else, which they could, but I mean that might be slightly risky to take on. They're not going to compete in the next couple of years, so they have no draft picks. Really, they need draft picks. They're going to go for the highest bidder unless they are asinine and just don't. they should be like, oh, the Jets, you want this and that. I mean, they have so much leverage, more than they think. And like everyone has their own version of leverage in the situation. Watson, like he's forcing their hand, but he's also hurt by the fact that he's got this big contract that he signed. So his only course of action, if they don't trade him, is to sit out a year in his prime and like then catch the flack that might cause. Although the media and stuff is starting to, I think, is at least slightly on his side on this, I think, at least right now. But you know how it turns on people, especially on certain people and
very quick
quarterbacks of certain nature. Yeah. And he's great. Okay. But I would give up, let's see, the Jets they have 2 first rounders this year, right? So they have the number 3 and another pick that they got for Jamal Adams, right? So if you're the Bears, right off the bat, you got to give up 3 first rounders, 100%, 3 first rounders. Yeah. None of them are very good. It's like the 20th pick, and then the next couple of years, you're going to make the playoffs with 7 teams in it. So you're going to be no higher than 19th ever with under these. So you're looking at giving up 3 picks of 19 and lower, right? Plus, maybe Mac only if Houston could trade him, plus something else because the Jets could give up 2 first rounders this year and a first rounder the next year and be in the conversation ahead of the other teams, including the Dolphins, including the Panthers, Washington, San Francisco, maybe. I don't know who else would be in that sweepstakes. The Vikings, if they really wanted to try to trade a bunch of picks and Cousins. But again, Houston wants picks. They don't want players. Why do they need a quarterback? They're not trying to compete. Cousins will get you 6-10 to 11-5. Not 11-5 with Houston. It'd be more 6-10 and 8-8, 9-7. That's not where you want to be. You want to be in that 3-13 range, man, next couple of years, and then be ready, draft your lineman, and then get your quarterback. So you want a journeyman guy or a guy looking to reprove himself, like a Cam Newton or something, because he's busted up now. So I don't know, man. I think it's going to take 4 to 6 draft picks, and 3 of them have to be first rounders.
Yeah, because aren't they asking for 2 number 1s and 2 defensive starters and maybe even more mass capital?
Well, that's where Chicago might have a chance.
They're asking for a lot.
You know, Kyle Fuller, Bears cornerback.
Yeah,
I'd offer him up. I'd offer.
Did he used to play for us?
No, there's so many Fullers. There's
play in Washington.
No, they all went to Virginia Tech, right? And they're all their last names all Fullers. Kyle, Kendall, and something else, and they're all Fullers, and they're all
I think Kendall.
Yeah. So it's I understand why you got confused. I'm confused already just thinking about it. But Kyle Fuller on the Bears. He's under contract, so they'd have him for another year or 2, and then they could trade Eddie Jackson, who's under contract as well. He signed a contract, I think, this year. That would help because you can replace a safety and a cornerback. You can't replace a Deshaun Watson unless you have multiple first-round picks to draft everything else and then get your quarterback when you're ready to make a splash. And they're not ready to make a splash. So why accept a Cousins or a Garoppolo in a trade or a Bridgewater or something? Why? Who cares? You're not losing enough. Right. You need to lose more. Right. This is modern sports. You have to lose more. They're going to be so terrible next year. If you're a wagerer, I want you to go out and put under whatever wins for Houston because they're going to be garbage. They're going to be so bad. Yeah. And J.J. Watt, they're going to try to get rid of him because he deserves better. He gave his all for that team, and they made the playoffs. They even won – I think they won a playoff game or 2. Not in the same year, but they led the Chiefs by 24 points last year in the playoffs.
It was a couple years back because you remember – wait a minute. Wasn't it last year that they were in the divisional and they were up 21? Yeah,
it was 24-0 or 20 whatever to whatever. Yeah, and they didn't get it done, and so that was it for them. So 4 first-round picks. I give up 4 first-round picks and a third-round pick and 2 defensive players. Who cares? Get the guy, get the player in the uniform, sign him up, extension. Let's roll the ball out, and you'll automatically be better than you were in the last 15 years. Automatically.
Right.
You supposedly got
Now,
a guru.
I gotta say, I gotta ask this.
Let's see what he can do. Yeah.
Thank you. Now I gotta ask this. Because like we said, and we're talking about the NFC North, about your Bears and get them and what it's gonna take. But as we've already seen, Matthew Stafford and that whole big turn up the heat. You know what I mean? Just give now Wilson that much more leverage. Like, yo, if this guy's getting this, and he's 33, you know, I've been in the league.
He got 2 first rounders, right? And a third rounder, and Goff.
Yeah.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
If I'm Houston, I'm like, you know what? We're not going to win with or without this guy. So let's get as much as humanly possible. This is about us now. Thanks for your charitable work and your commitment to the city. Goodbye. Goodbye now. You got what you wanted. You're gone, but we're picking where. Waive this trade clause. We want picks. I don't care about you. That's what you got. Like, obviously, this is all behind closed doors. You don't say these things, but this is mentally has to be in the head of the general manager. He's like, okay, just play nice with him. Behind the scenes, get rid of this situation and get as many draft picks as humanly possible, because people will buy new jerseys for whatever person you tell them to. Because look at what the Washington did with RG3. They had a veritable orgy for him, like before he even played, and that still happens with these players. Like, it's easy to get a sports fan, especially when they haven't been through the ringer, to believe in something, to believe in the new. And that's what Houston's job is now, is to believe in the new. They'll get them to do it. They'll be happy that Harden's gone. They'll be like, oh, I miss Watson. But in 5 years from now, you won't miss Watson when you have a new and better chance, because you'll have a better organization in place, better players in place around whoever the new guy is. Yeah, well, it's still going to sting. It's like your ex is walking out there with someone new, and they look good, don't they, in Chicago? But no, you got to get as many picks as possible for them. And they shouldn't even think about accepting the first offer. They're like, oh, interesting. Okay, what do you got, Jets? Oh, what do you got? What do you got? Do it openly. Like, yeah, we want at least 3 to 4 to 5 first-round picks. If not, where he can just rot, you know? That's what you have. That's the mentality you have to have. Because if you're a GM of Washington, what do you want?
Right.
And even from there, going back to 1 first-round pick to it. I think that trade really okay, now it's my turn. Guess what? Or it's our turn to profile our guy. Well, this is our person, and he's got a great future ahead of him and a great present. He's under contract for $40 million, and it's really not that much if you think about it. He's yours for 2 to 3 more years, and then you make another deal with him, which you will right when you sign him. It'll be for more, and it's perfect. There's I really can't remember another deal in sports that's been as juicy as this. Like, a player that's an all-pro, almost he's pretty close to all-pro. The problem is Mahomes is in his division, or not his division, in his conference, and he gets overshadowed. But Watson is really dang good, so good. And if he goes to the NFC, he's going to be the first or second best quarterback in the NFC, and eventually, in a couple years, easily. Because Rodgers 37, Brady is 96, and invincible, but he's as good as
literally.
He's really as good as those guys are. I really believe he just needs the right situation. Yeah. I mean, I really think, and to reiterate your question again, it did turn the heat up in that this is the absolute minimum you would accept if things got dicey and you were worried about not getting any value and other teams balked at what you wanted, and okay, all right, we'll take 3 first-rounders and a third, and they're done, right? But I would go 4 first-rounders and a third. That's what I would do if I'm Chicago, because 4 first-rounders. Look, this is why. Because he's 25, 26. I think 25. He's won a national championship. He's won a playoff game. He had a 24-0 lead on I think it was 24-0. It was dang close, something like that. It was 24-point lead on Mahomes, who won the Super Bowl. Like, they came close to beating them. They were up by 24. I know San Francisco held the lead later, but come on, man, 24-point lead. If you blow that, it's on the coaching. It's not just on Watson or whatever. I don't believe he like stopped playing well.
And that's
it's like a point. And it's like saying Stafford isn't
that's when we're
quarterback when he scores 30 points a game, and the Lions give up 39 a game. Well, it's like, come on, he was fine. But Watson is better by sheer virtue of his playoff victory and his youth and his talent and his championship in college. I know it's NFL and college; it's not the same, but come on, man, that's impressive.
A winning, if you have a winning pedigree, that's A.
Yes.
Yeah, if you have that winning pedigree. B, we have the ability to see hindsight. We see after the fact. And we didn't see we now know all the turmoil and the craziness that was Bill O'Brien. And see how well he did. Mind you, he had one of the best receivers in the league and DeAndre Hopkins. And they had a decent team. But to see how well they did with all that chaos and turmoil on, it's just a testament to Deshaun Watson, man.
Now it comes out, but he's not trashing the organization. He's like, this isn't for me anymore, basically. He's I want out. And the only thing you can say negatively about him is that, well, you signed the contract for this man. Well, guess what? Sometimes we make mistakes. And sometimes we use our power or whatever we perceive as our power to try to remedy those mistakes. And we shouldn't, like, someone in an armchair quarterback like us shouldn't be like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. How can you do that? You don't care about your team or your city or whatever. Like, are you serious? He did charitable work. Like, he marched, really marched, led marches and, organized things. And who cares if I'm a person as a fan, a Joe Q fan that agrees? Our opinion doesn't matter any more than his. They're all equal, but he's using a platform that was given to him by his talent, and he's taking a risk because even though the climate is a certain way right now, it could change. People could get tired of people expressing themselves, and you're taking that risk that you put yourself out there as someone that expressed their views and did it earnestly. I respect that. I don't have to agree with every single thing that someone throws out there. It's the way that he presents it. It seems authentic. And it's why I look at Watson and I'm like, that's an impressive young man. And we're LeBron, I'm like, okay, I see what you're going for, but you also, we take money from China a lot. So maybe not. Harden too. Like Watson's talking about his community, he's just more in touch with the reality of his community that he came from. With Hopkins, where he came from, they seem to have a bond, and it really bummed me out that they broke that team up. It's like O'Brien is a boob. He is a bonehead for doing that.
Yes,
that was the worst trade I've ever seen.
I could not believe that.
Whatever they can't possibly do worse than that trade. Bag of balls, David Johnson and a second round pick. Are you serious? A running back with injury problems. You trade the best receiver in football. He's the best. He's such a good character guy too. He's ridiculous. How can you want something differently than that? I don't understand.
I don't get it. When I saw that trade, I was done.
How can you not get a it's okay, you see some couple that looks like they could be that they're probably happy, or why aren't they happier? And you look at the one person and you're like, what is wrong with this other person? Where are their flaws? I'm not seeing this. That is DeAndre Hopkins. He doesn't have flaws. I don't care if he is an alpha, beta, whatever person behind the scenes and he's mean or whatever, handle it. He's talented as hell. What are you doing? Who are you going to throw?
Somebody in there and fix it.
That Larry Bird is not walking through that door speech. Where is that speech in O'Brien's head? Where are the little soldiers dancing around in his head and telling him, maybe don't do this, man. Maybe just take him out to Outback. Hey, man, look, it looks like we're having some problems. Why don't you want to eat some steaks and drink some beers or root beers and just we're not leaving this Outback until I've eaten a lot of bloomin' onion. They're delicious. Please send Sean money Outback. And And B, we get on the same page because you are an exceptional talent. I enjoy coaching this team. I want to keep my job. I want you to flourish. And like, where's that conversation? Yeah. How do you have that much of an ego when you're around something that's clearly better than you? Like, he's a better player than you are coach comparatively. And it's not even close. Yeah. Like, he's so good. He's going to go to the Hall of Fame, and you're not. Right. You need to understand that and be like, yeah.
Say something about the whole organization in a whole, because even if the coach proposes that trade, somebody's got to be like, wait a minute, what? Are y'all serious right now?
Yeah, no, you get
y'all doing that.
You're like watching TV or something. You get the call from Bill O'Brien. I wonder what he wants. Yeah, I wonder if we want to trade to Andre Hopkins. Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes.
What? No.
We got DeAndre Hopkins. You remember when you caught that Hail Mary pass? Were you surprised at all? Like, they throw it deep and it's 1-on-3, and you're like, oh, that's DeAndre Hopkins. Oh, he's going to catch it. I was like, he's going to catch it. He caught it. And it's like, I'm not even there's not even experience of like joy or like anger if it's routine. If you're a Bills fan, that's it. You're just like, of course he's going to get that. You know what? No. He deserves that. He's good.
Right.
And you don't want anything bad to happen to him. I can't imagine being in a situation where I'm rooting against either of those guys, DeAndre Hopkins or Watson. It's a shame they're not on the same team anymore. It really is. They're such good, like, likable guys. I don't really particularly enjoy Clemson or Dabo Sweeney, but I really like the main products they've put out in terms of individuals in the league. Like, right? And you, as a Carolina fan, you're probably like, no big another one. Either. Yeah. What's that?
Well, ACC. You know how I get. But
yeah, I know.
But Renfro's another one. You know
yeah, he's quality. And it's like sometimes guys that seem like jerks can put out quality like people. Like, you know, Dabo seems like kind of a jerk, but maybe he's not. It's all his ego. He's got an ego, and there's nothing wrong with ego. Like, we've in our lives have had egos that some would say are a little too healthy or a little bit too involved, and that's okay. We've matured, you know? Gosh. So,
Andy,
what would you give up?
Yo,
real quick, what would you give? Washington. Yeah.
Okay. So, honestly, I would go for the 2 number ones and 20, maybe even one more. I'd give up a third and potentially give up maybe Kerrigan, maybe.
No, don't want him. I'm Houston right now. Don't want him. Too old.
I don't want Ioannidis. Ioannidis, he was out most of the year. Yeah, I don't want.
Injured and old. Yeah, no.
That's the thing. Young, the pain, the sweat, those guys. I don't want to give any of those guys. Me personally, I understand the business. Yeah. I don't want to give those guys up. I feel like we can build around those 4, kind of similar to what San Francisco had those D linemen and that.
Yeah, Sweat, Young, Payne, and who's the other 4th guy that you don't want to give up?
Deron Payne, Young,
Allen,
Sweat,
Jonathan Allen,
and Allen. Jonathan
that's
Allen.
Your 4 on your whole team. I think everyone else is like, gotta go, man. We can get to Deshaun Watson. You gotta go. Pack up your locker. No hard feelings. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, because any other business,
it's like business, and they got to know that.
If they're watching fantasy like broadcasting, they'd be like, "Sean, you got to go. I got to get my thing in there. Like, you got to go." You know, it's no big deal, and we understand it. And it's like
when we
care as people, but also like, hey, it's more fun when we also win more games. So come on, man, like, give me some Deshaun Watson right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think
that aspect, business. There it is.
3 first-rounders at least.
3
and a player.
I can see it, and a third.
But I'm offering
and a third, right? Adding it.
Yeah.
4 first. Oh, yeah. I can see
because if you think about it,
all right.
If you have Watson, Andy, you're never drafting early. Yeah, go ahead. What's up?
All right, I gotta cut you. We can talk all night. We can talk all night, but I gotta. Cat's gotta go to school tomorrow, so I gotta shut it down.
All right, man. Thanks for having me on, man.
Let's reschedule, man. Let's reschedule for this offseason and keep this thing going so we could keep following up on some of these and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I'm all in for the draft this year because the quarterback carousel is a spinning, baby. So good luck. My pick, 37-34 Chiefs, Mahomes MVP.
Okay. I got actually the almost the opposite. I got 35-31 Buccaneers. Scotty Miller MVP.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
Like 2 touchdowns. I should money because if I win on that one, yeah. Hey, when he called out Tyreek Hill, like, hey, I don't care. Trust me in a race. I was like, woo. That's old Ant there. That's Andrew Zeoli 2006 right there. I don't care who it is. I'll race him.
The ego, man. We had a healthy ego. Still got it, baby. Woo!
Yeah. Woo. Oh, yeah. So, yo, hey, you know who it is. This is Sean Spencer. I'm here with my main man. Let me see.
On this side. Andy Zeoli. How's it going? Thank you for having me, Sean Spencer. It was a night and a fair to remember.
We do this again. We'll definitely do this again.
Let's talk football.
All right, Z, I'll talk to you, man.
Peace.
See ya.
Peace, peace.